Hi guys, my name is Sive and this is Stories in Sive. This is going to be the last vlog for Spoopathon. I have been participating in this readathon all month and have been weekly vlogging, so this is my fourth and final video. I am joining you from my car because I am on my lunch break at the moment and it is Monday, and I'm going to take you through my week and my weekend and basically have you alongside of me as I finish some books and track my reading progress and finish out this readathon strong. If you haven't seen my previous vlogs, go ahead and check those out. I will have them linked in the description. But I have been reading Piecing Me Together, and I didn't get very far in it last week, but I do have the ability to take it in to this week with me because these are the prompts that were released over the past weekend. One of the prompts is TBR Veteran. There's another prompt that's audiobook. That's going to be really easy to hit. So I'm going to read Piecing Me Together by Renee Watson this week on ebook, which I have on loan from the library, and I'm going to finish that. I'm also going to listen to the audiobook and have actually already started it this morning for The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, which is a spooky, fun romance. For now, I really should go to a coffee shop and just read Piecing Me Together, but I'm very, very tempted for some reason to go to a secondhand bookstore that's kind of near my work and just browse around and take a little bit of break from work. So I'll let you know what I decide to do, but thank you so much for joining me on this video. I hope that you enjoy it. I will see you later. Hi, I have a reading update for you, and I wanted to let you know my feelings on The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandana because I finished it. And wow, this was a great book. This book is a contemporary, but it's also romance, and it was really mainly pitched to me as romance. But the romance to me was definitely more of like a side plot line. We follow our main character, Mika, and Mika is a witch, and her whole life she has been told that she needs to hide her magic. Magic is dangerous, especially when around other witches. They're able to feed off of each other, and it increases the risk of either being discovered or something going poorly wrong with the magic. Mika is used to traveling from city to city, living situation to living situation, in order to avoid putting down roots too much. Preparing for one of these moves, she's contacted through her social media by a person who basically claims he has 3 witches, young witches, living on his property, and they are in need of a tutor, of a magical tutor to help them learn how to control their magic. The reason this person suspects she might be a witch is because she puts out like witchy content on YouTube, and so she has a YouTube channel and she makes videos about witches, but she's playing a person who isn't truly a witch and is just interested, and it's very lighthearted and not serious magic. She's not teaching any real tutorials or anything like that. But this man picks up that she is an actual witch and contacts her. This book was so sweet to just the found family specifically. That's what really made this book stand out for me. I so enjoyed Mika and how she got to know these kids, and how one of them specifically did not want her there, and through showing up every single day and being really persistent with this kid, this one in particular, she was just able to earn the trust of these 3 young kids and essentially give them something that she wasn't given growing up, and that is a respect and an encouragement of the magic rather than hiding it and it being something potentially dangerous. Now, there's some other plot lines, including like a mystery, and there's also the romance like I mentioned, but really this found family plotline is what absolutely stood out to me the most. I gave this book 4 stars. I don't think that it was like 5-star quality, but it was so good. It was very like cozy, very like soft, spooky vibes, and I really enjoyed it. It actually reminded me a lot of one of my favorite books from last year. I got it down to show you, Nothing to See Here by Kevin Wilson. This is a story about magic, not in the same way as The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, but this is about like a magical realism. These kids spontaneously combust. They actually do catch on fire, and our main character is basically employed to be their caretaker, and it's found family, and it's very sweet, and it was just really heartfelt and cool, and I got those same vibes from The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. I will 100% be looking out for whatever this author does next because it was so cute and sweet, and I loved it. A perfect read for the spooky season, even though I'm not fully into my horror and thriller era at the moment. So I wrapped that up, and I wanted to let you know that I'm actually going to move on to Anne of Green Gables. I got the audiobook loan from my library, and I'm really excited to pick this up. It's been on my radar as a book that I want to read. It's on my 22 books for 2022 list, and I feel like it could be fall vibes. I know absolutely nothing about this story. I just know it is quite beloved by many, and I'm excited to get into it. So for now, I will leave you. That's all the updates I have for you, and I'll check back with you when I have some more updates. Hi guys, this week has been so busy. I've really only had time to be listening to audiobooks, and I haven't made any progress in piecing me together, and I'm really annoyed about it. But I'm just gonna go ahead and let you know that I'm loving Anne of Green Gables. I've been listening to this, and it is so endearing and lovely and soft and just sweet, and it has a lot of energy. Like, Anne has such great spunk. Like, she's such a good character. I really do feel like she's someone that is like very relatable, and it has like a lot of those young girl characters. Obviously, she's a young girl. This is written for middle grade. It's going to be high energy, fast plot. Each chapter is a different, like, I don't know, basically issue she creates, or like something she gets into, or like she gets in trouble or something like that. So each chapter is like a whole new little baby plot, and I'm just loving this so much. The writing is great. It's really, really sweet. I'm definitely enjoying it a lot. I don't have any other updates for you. I'm so sorry. But that's kind of where I'm at with this. I think that this is like one of my favorite classics I've ever read. I think it could really take that spot away from Jane Eyre, maybe? Oh my god, I don't know. Jane Eyre has been my favorite classic since I was 17. So I don't know. It's kind of a big statement. I'll have to think about it. I don't know. Even just saying that stressed me out. So I'm gonna move on from that. Anyways, the book is really good. I really like it, and the audiobook is very sweet. So I'm gonna keep listening to this, and I'll give you updates when I have some. But yeah, not doing a whole lot of physical reading, just audiobooks.
Good morning. Happy Halloween. It's the last day of Spoopathon. I am so excited for today. I have done a horrible job this week of vlogging, and I will give you a wrap up of all the things that I read in a little bit, probably at the end of the day. It is the morning, so I'm getting ready for work, and I'm going to go into my work day, and I will chat with you at the end of the day.
Here we are. Wrap up. Last week of Spoopathon, last week of October. I had such a fun time with Spoopathon. I have a few things to wrap up on for you, and that is going to be Anne of Green Gables. I gave this book 5 stars. I don't know what it is about the writing, the plotting, and the character Anne in this story that just got my heart so nostalgic and sentimental, and just like loving this young person. But I really do applaud L.M. Montgomery, because this book was exceptional, and it really just brought me back to childhood in a way that I haven't been brought back by a piece of literature, I think, ever. It truly is exceptional in my experience with this, because it was an audiobook, and sometimes I find that they're less potent than reading a physical book. But just the mixture of the audiobook and having like the different voices for the characters and the plotting was really conducive to the audiobook listen, and it was a fantastic experience. This is a 5-star read for me, one of my favorite reads of the year, probably, and it's just a super special book. And if you've read it and you have a sentimental attachment to it, then you'll understand why. If you've read it and you don't like this, I'm not offended. It's okay. But yeah, truly love this book, and I think it might have been my favorite. Oh, I don't know. I was gonna say it might have been my favorite book of the readathon, but I think this book and The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager are the top 2 books. I don't know if I could pick one for the month of October that's like my favorite read of the month. Like I had mentioned, I was just not doing great with like reading physically, and piecing me together, I did not end up finishing that book. I think I maybe read like 10% of the audiobook this past week, and that's okay. I'll finish it in November, but I am enjoying it a lot, and I did want to bring it up one more time. I am really enjoying this book, And I'm bummed that this past week was so busy that I wasn't able to properly sit down and give time to reading physically. Even though it is an ebook, it is me reading physically, not an audiobook. So I just need the time and the space to do that. I didn't get that this week. So it is okay. I'll bring it into November. I'll let you know my thoughts on it. But speaking of audiobooks, I had a bit of a surprise today. It's Halloween, the 31st, and I read another book. I picked up the audiobook for A Midsummer Night's Dream by William Shakespeare, which is a comedy and a romance and a fantasy play. We follow two female characters, Helena and Hermia. Hermia is the kind of who I would call the main gal, and her dad is pressuring her into trying to marry her off to this guy named Lysander. Lysander is in love with her. She wants nothing to do with him. Like, she literally curses him multiple times in this book. Anyways, so we follow Hermia and her friend Helena. Helena, on the other hand, is obsessed with Lysander, deeply in love with him, and he wants nothing to do with her. That's dramatic enough. But Demetrius is in love with Hermia as well. But Hermia is in love with Demetrius too. So they're a couple. But her dad does not like Demetrius and wants her to marry Lysander. Anyways, so there's these two women and two men, and it's super complicated. And essentially there's just like someone who's trying to meddle and successfully, yet not so successfully, meddles, and it produces a very funny scenario, and it kind of walks through the plot in that way. It's a comedy, it's a romance, and it does have a little bit of that fantastical element to it as well. I really enjoyed this. I don't love Shakespeare. Why do I have this book, Sive? Because of the cover. Like, look how pretty this is. So anyways, that's why I bought it. Don't. I did actually really end up enjoying this book. I gave it a solid 3 stars. I've read a few other Shakespeare plays, but not since I've been an adult. And it was kind of a cool reminder of his writing, but it's just not my favorite. It's never gonna really be something that I have the education, the intellect, nor the artistic appreciation for. So it's okay. But it is really cool because I actually ended up finishing 3 books this week. So I finished Anne of Green Gables, A Midsummer Night's Dream, and The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. So I'm pleased with my reading for this week, even though it was as busy as it was. That's the end of Spoopathon. I'm kind of happy that it's over, I'm not gonna lie, because I'm ready to kind of move into my TBR for the end of the year. I have big plans of reducing my physical TBR by the end of the year. So if you would like to see more content from me, please feel free to subscribe. I'd love to have you. Thanks again for joining me this month for Spoopathon. If you missed my previous vlogs, check the link in the description. I'll have them there for you. And other than that, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.